listening to The Burn. Gaming stuff, blazing fast.
Welcome to a new episode of The Burn, a podcast about gaming done blazing fast. I'm Aviv Manoach.
And I am Omer Kaplan. How are you?
I am doing well, and you?
Doing good. Well, actually. Things are looking better here, pandemic-wise, so I would say it's a nice, spring-ish day, but today started heavily raining. So we got some cicadas, and other than that, it's all great.
Have you seen Silicon Valley?
A little bit, yes.
In the first season, the actor that plays what's his name? Something Gregory. Peter Gregory. There is like a B plot where he has a meeting with a company is investing in, and they need a capital injection, and he starts to talk about Burger Kings. And then they order Burger King, and he see that the bun has sesame seed on it. And then he figures out that the two biggest countries that produce sesame seed has large cicada populations. And the cicada is an interesting insect. They only not hatch, but like go stop hibernating once in every 13 or 17 years, something like that.
Yeah, it's 17.
Yes, they basically hibernate underground for 17 years, and then they come up to mate and stuff. And so cicada, apparently, according to the show, I don't know if it's true, feed on sesame plants. So
basically,
he shorted the sesame futures, in order to make a buttload of money. That's what he did.
Yeah, so basically, there's the whole different bunch of types of cicadas, like at least from what I know. So the one that we have, at least here, it's like living under trees and like eats the sap from the trees. And yeah, so I think the South American ones are different, but I'm not sure. But the one that we have are gross, and also that leads me to the question: what else is underground that hatches every 17 years and nobody told me about?
Also, they are a freaking scary insect.
They're just weird. They have like red legs, and like they shed their own skin and like develop a new exoskeleton, and like I don't know, everything's gross about them. Everything's gross.
Yes.
And they're somehow like, I don't know if they're protected or people just like them or whatever, but people just like leave them alone and just wait for them to go back to the ground like for the next 17 years. Like nobody's care all that much.
I guess as insects go, they are kind of harmless. They don't do anything to people or animals or stuff.
I don't think they're actually doing anything to plants either. So they just like, they're doing their thing above ground, and they're gonna go down and keep eating tree sap for the next like whatever years. So people say we have at least like another like 5 weeks of that. So we'll see. Yeah,
it's not like locusts that when they come up, they just destroy agriculture.
Yeah, no, the cicadas are like, they're just like harmless. They just like hang out on my porch, not doing much, so it's fine. They're just like out there being gross.
Yes, exactly. Well, that has been The Burn, an agricultural podcast.
Like insectology.
Yes.
Pre-show.
Exactly that.
If that's even a word.
But no, we are a gaming podcast. Each week we talk about a game we have been playing and liked or disliked, and then some news. You can find all previous episodes at theburn.live, and where you can find also the links to subscribe to us, which we appreciate. Beside that, you can follow me as well on my Twitch, twitch.tv/icel.me, where I live stream from time to time. Before we get into the game, I want to tell something gaming related. I ordered some new components for my PC.
Oh, nice. What did you get?
A Ryzen, because that's what everyone gets now. It's so expensive.
I can
Oh, no.
imagine, but you're gonna get some good experience off of it. So
Yeah, my current setup sends the GPU, which I always like. How do you say? I replace the most of the system at one time, and then the graphics card at another time. Usually like 2 years apart, something like that. So my graphics card is GTX 1660 Ti, which is a year old, something like that, and it's very good. I still won't spend money on RTXs until they are cheaper. And then my rest of my rig is 5 years old, and it's starting to show its age. And despite the fact that I moved most of my gaming to consoles, I really need my PC for game development and modeling and just general work. Because, for example, not many people know, but working on very big files in Excel kick the heck out of your CPU. So you need a good CPU if you want to work in Excel on big files. So that's another thing, and that's another reason I'm upgrading. So yeah, I'm replacing like the CPU and then motherboard and RAM, since you have to.
yeah.
And then the only other thing I bought is a new M.2 SSD drive.
Oh, nice.
For Windows, for like the system. So that will be a new thing. My Windows is currently on an SSD, but M.2 is better, and they're not that expensive. I bought half a tera one, 500 gigabytes. So yeah,
it's not too bad. Yeah, that's exciting. They're gonna So prepare the space for all the new and fast and games you're gonna play. So that's pretty cool. Meanwhile, let's talk about a game from 2011. You know what? I haven't looked up the year. That's a good question.
Around that, I think it was. We are talking about Vanquish, a game that if you are listening to previous episodes, I turned Omer on, and then we talked a little bit about last week. And this is our main game today. So yeah, I think it came out in 2010, October of 2010 originally.
It was for console though.
Yes, it was console exclusive, but then it came to the PC when they did a re-release / remaster in 2017. And today you can also get it on last gen consoles, which was released in 2020. So they are really milking this game. I wish they would have make a sequel or something, because it's so good.
It is good. If you read the reviews on I just Google search Vanquish release date. So if you read the reviews, it says lame story and characters, but 10x better than Gears of War. That's a really good, accurate review. 9 years ago, by the way. So that's good. Yeah. So in case you don't
call
know,
it lame. It's just it's a campy game.
It's special. So if you don't know, Aviv's superpower is to just throw names of games at me, and somehow by osmosis they end up on my hard drive. I don't know how that happens, but it happened over the last 2-3 years. It's been a few.
Yes.
And but the good thing is they always maintain high standard of quality, and they never price it. So that's
I only recommend things I know you'd like.
Yeah. So yes, that's pretty good. So I think last time or no, 2 episodes ago we talked
Two
about
episodes ago, we were talking
Bulletstorm.
about Bulletstorm, and I recommended Vanquish as a game in similar fashion that you would like.
Yeah, so I open up, I open up Steam, and there it is on sale with like the first Bayonetta for $9.99, I think it was. I was like, okay, there we go. So it's a little bit different than Bulletstorm, but like the core game is still there. So in Bulletstorm, I was all up in arms on like the pun not intended bullet time effects and the gameplay and the combo system and everything and. Like in that regard, Vanquish is like pretty similar, but like in the overall and the goofy story, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think Vanquish is really fun gameplay wise, but it's like to me at least it's more fascinating like culture wise. Okay, so here's the deal. Like just
if you remember last week when we talked briefly about it, I mentioned the episode of Extra Credit where they talk about the myth of the gun and how the Japanese games treat weapons as part of the body, while in Western games, weapons are just tools. And I think Vanquish is a prime example of that.
Yes.
Because your character and the suit you're using are one and the same.
Yeah, and the weapons pretty much transform and grow outside of your suit, which like it's a very like ever since you told that like on the previous episode, I keep like looking at it and like keep reminding myself. So it's been a while since I played like a Japanese developed game. So when the last time I played those, you really have to adjust to the standard, especially when they trying and Vanquish. It's like a Japanese developer that tries to explain kind of like a Cold War narrative between the US and Russia through like the way Hollywood kind of like paints the picture of. So it's kind of weird. So basically, a bunch of Japanese developers watch a whole bunch of like Hollywood movies, American Hollywood movies about the Cold War, and then they said, okay, well, let's take that narrative and translate it into a game so basically the result is a ton of cliches. So people are walking down San Francisco, all of a sudden lasers come from the sky because it's in the really like super distant future. And then there's like a whole big space war between the US and Russia. And Russia's like saying, okay, well, it's always like, it's the classic, Russian generals, heavily decorated, heavy accent, obviously. And saying, like, hey, if you don't give us what we want or surrender, we're going to laser New York City and all the American cities. And then, the US president is like, of course, we're not going to do it. We're going to fight for freedom. We're going to send the Marines. And, the Space Marines are obviously a really, a cliched version of like what you see in like American movies of the Marines. So all the military catchphrases, big, bulky, what was the name of that movie? Starship Troopers, like big, like huge shoulder pads, kind of like exoskeleton suits running around like with huge machine guns, like disproportionate.
Which isn't Starship Troopers another movie?
Yeah, so it's like Starship Troopers style.
I don't remember another movie.
Oh, no! So it was a book and a movie. And that's it, pretty much, I think. But anyway, they have like, so the point is that they have like big like suits and shoulder pads, and they shoot aliens.
Well, yes, like Starship Trooper is the trope codifier for powered armor. It's literally the thing that invented powered armor.
Yeah. So trope is the word I was looking for.
Which is interesting. Which is interesting because, and then let's go on a tangent. Starship Troopers, the movie, is an amazing movie, but it gets 90% of the book wrong, which it doesn't matter. The movie is still great, but in the
movie is pretty good.
Yeah, in the book, everything the mobile infantry uses on their powered armor. They don't have like assault rifles and stuff. All the weapons are attached to their armor, which is interesting because that's a Western American book that created the concept of power armor or even mecha before it was a thing in Japan.
Interesting. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
I'm a huge fan of Starship Troopers.
Yeah, no, the movies, I used to know the movie by heart. Like, there's only like a handful of movies I know by heart, and this was one of them. I haven't watched it in forever, but if I watch it today, I probably remember most of the lines. It's so good. And it was also one of my middle school or high school, like, end of the year projects in, I don't remember. I used to, I was like, I really nerded out about it. It's pretty cool. So you're playing as a person named Sam, who is the latest project out of DARPA, which is, I don't remember the acronym. It's like the special project, like the defense thing in the US.
Department of it's not department. It's Defense Advanced Research Project Agency.
Exactly. So basically, the weird like defense experiment division. So they so you get like a special suit, and you basically like half ninja, half power armor, more agile than Marines, and like you get this like the guns that change shape when you hold them. So it's pretty cool.
And you have jets that you can slide with.
Yeah, you can slide and you can do like your bullet time, and it's all like kind of like interconnected because you're highly sentient and you have these like sharp senses. So the gameplay itself is anywhere between. So it's a little bit Bayonetta, it's a little bit like action shooter classic style, and it's a little bit cover shooter. So you can't really, and I tried it. You can't really rush into enemy lines and like do your sliding, do your jumping, and not take cover at all. So you just need cover to recharge your shield sometimes, and then you go with your old fancy tricks.
Recharge your shield, and also to vent the heating, if I remember correctly. Your suit gets...
the only time you need to vent heat is if you like slide too much or jump too much.
So it's not... The game is not planned for you to just charge ahead all the time. It's very much planned around take cover... slide into the enemies, do some damage, take cover again, etc.
Yeah, I mean, but you can do fancy stuff. So if you really want to, you can like slide, jump over a bunch of people, and like take remove this guy from the turret, and like take the turret and like kill everybody from behind. So there's like a whole bunch of like cool stuff you can do. All around you, there's like tons of...
if Gears of War and Bayonetta had
exactly,
a baby.
Yeah, yes. That 100%. So and unlike Bulletstorm, it's a classic kind of like Japanese developed game where when you do stuff more creatively, you get more points, and then you get points, you get the grade based on the stage that you're at, and then the story continues. So
yes.
So nothing like the combo system, which enables you to like unlock stuff and things. Like it's like really straightforward Bayonetta style point system. Which is fun. Like everything about this game is like it's super fun. It's super fluid. It really, when I wrote the show notes at the beginning, I was like, it really controls like a Sega game. And then I go to it's really published by Sega, so it's funny. But it's really everything you come to expect from, I guess, Sega published game, like in how they control. It's exactly like it's everything like according to my expectations. So it has less physics than Bulletstorm, so you can't really like kick people all around and pull them and do stuff. It's like different type of kind of like battle, but the bullet time is super cool. The sliding is great. Jumping feels great, and the boss fights are over the top like you would expect. And they always have these different mechanisms of you have to this huge robot, you have to kill the two cores, and then you kill the two cores, and then it evolves into a bigger robot that like overheated and like kills everybody, and then you have to like fight a couple of different evolutions at a time. Oh, and obviously because it's a cheesy game, you also find your nemesis, which is another like your counterpart, just from the Russian like angle.
Yes.
So he's like it's just like you, but red, and have like heavy accent, and
yes,
you both
it's like Iron Man and Red Dynamo.
Yeah, you can, and then you fight anime style a little bit. Yeah, but yeah, by the way, not a very long game. I think
no, it's not.
I finished it in like I think it's like 6 to 8 hours or something like that. But it have like big like replay value because like you finish it so fast. You can just go and do stuff more creatively, just enjoy like the guns some more. So there's a whole bunch of you can do there.
Yeah. Iron Man is a interesting point in the whole Western versus Japanese influences because, well, it's a Western hero, but certainly has some more Japanese influences. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I never played Vanquish myself, but I didn't have consoles at the time, and when it came out on PC, I thought about getting it, but
I think it's a good game. I think it's a good game to buy like when it's on sale. Just if you want like a really like nice experience and you feel like playing this like overpowered robot person. It's like faster than Destiny, but like similar like spacey setting and very tight and actiony. Then 100% super fun experience. I put a video in the show notes just to show you like how creative people play the game. This is not me. I'm just like run it people, but people that know how to play it creatively can do like super super cool stuff with it. And I gotta admit, like before you talked about it last episode, or 2 episodes ago, I never heard of it, so it totally went like under my radar. But no, I'm super glad I played it. So
it came out at the time when I would watch pretty much every new game that come out on consoles. I watched it on YouTube. I consumed all of the games. So I found out a lot of obscure, interesting games like that way.
Yeah, no. So I announcing right now. So I'm satisfied with bullet time action shooter games. I'm good with it now. I'm spending way more time. So my whole week was all No Man's Sky all the time. I just can't get enough.
Oh, nice. We need to do an episode on it.
Yeah, so let's do, because like people, I was sitting on No Man's Sky. I even refunded the first iteration, and then people told me, it's so good. Just like the more you wait, the better it gets. Right. So I saw it on sale. I was like, okay, and it's pretty amazing. I
bought No Man's Sky on launch. I played like 40 hours of it. I really liked it, and then when they came out with the multiplayer update, they decided not to do it on GOG. So I refunded the game on GOG because they allowed you to do it. And then I think I rebought it at a later time on Steam. But right now I kind of want to get it on the PlayStation 5 to have like a relax zen game that I can... Yeah,
it's the most relaxing game in the world. Other than the fact that every time I really try to relax and play it, I get attacked by space pirates, and you can't.
Yeah, they are the worst part of that game.
Yeah, you can't really run away from that like encounter, so that's like the worst. But other than that, like when I'm not attacked by pirates or there's random planet encounters. Okay, let's talk about it in another episode. But it's pretty great.
We'll talk about it next episode.
And it's I also tried.
If you want to buy me a present, that's the game I want right now.
So that's a good game, and yes, I also played a little bit of Elite Dangerous because I really wanted to drive a spaceship, but it wasn't all what I expected. So
okay, great.
That was the thing. Okay, we're gonna talk about it in another episode. It's pretty good though.
Let's move on to news. What do you think about the rumored Switch Pro?
I'm fine with it, and I have a Switch for a long time. I play with the Switch a lot. As long as they don't get Switch Pro games only, which they're totally gonna do, then I'm fine. To me, the Switch is more of a portable indie game machine type of thing. So I don't play because I don't have a TV to connect the Switch to. So, to me, it's more just hang out on the couch, play some nice indie games, like the one you have on the news that I want to talk to you about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 100% gonna go on the Switch. It's fine. It's fine.
So in 2 days from when we are recording, on June 4th, there's going to be a Nintendo Direct. And the rumors are that they are going to announce the Pro. It's still unclear what direction they are going to take it. Initially, it seems like this is going to be like a PlayStation 4 and Pro deal where it's a better machine but still the same software. So games could like do an enhanced mode like they did with the Pro and stuff. I really hope there are no Pro exclusives. I think that the entire market went into a direction of we are not going to change the software between generations anymore, unlike previous generations where you had to buy everything new and nothing was compatible. So I kind of want Nintendo to do that with everything, especially the Switch. The Switch is the most accessible Nintendo console of all time. Like, unlike, for example, the 3DS or the Wii or anything, there is no region lock on it. There is no nothing. You can buy whatever you want. And I kind of hope they continue on that line. The rumor about the Pro, well, beside obviously they're going to have better hardware. It's going to have a larger screen. I haven't read if they are going to bump it to 4K. I don't know. The output, not the screen. The screen you don't need a mobile screen for 40K.
No,
but for 4K. But the output of it, I obviously won't upgrade. I only have the Switch for like 2 years. I don't play it a lot, but I really like the machine, and I play it docked all the time. So I still have the dock in the original packaging because I never opened it. But no, I enjoy the Switch a lot. And I mean, if they bump the hardware and like all my games are still like working with it and compatible with it, and they're just gonna look a little bit better, then I mean it's fine because that's not the type of games I play anyway. Right.
So I mean it's fine.
Yeah. Maybe if we get another end of the year bonus from work, I will get the Switch Pro and give my friends the the current Switch, which I did with the PlayStation. Moving on, Clay is an amazing company. Every one of their game is excellent. We love all of them, and their latest game is called Griftlands, and it was released from early access. And the interesting thing about Griftland is that it's a deck building card combat game, but unlike games like Monster Train or Slay the Spire or all of those, cards are social and emotional things. It's an RPG where your battles are in negotiation and psychological whatever manipulation. That's the word I was looking for. And it's really interesting. I watched some of it on early access, and now that it's out, I will probably play it. I think I have it on Epic.
Yeah, I mean, if you would have told me that we're gonna do a deck building card game about talking, I wouldn't take it from any other company. But
right.
because it's Clay, I know it's probably good. Like from a core gameplay.
We know it's good. When it was in early access, we knew it was good. So yeah, and they did kind of something similar with Invisible Ink, where it was like XCOM, but you are a stealth mission and you're not supposed to kill people.
Oh, that's such a good game, by the way, for the Switch too. That's a really good game.
And then
by the way, do you know my story about with Invisible Ink?
No.
Okay, so there's another podcast I listen to about games. And that person who ran the show he's doing podcasts for like years and years, but like literally years. But he's I guess like artist and designer by trade. and his game of the year for 2015 was Invisible Ink. And every time he talked about it, I thought it was Ink with INK, and I thought, oh, that's probably one of the abstract design games that's like really, artistic and not fun. And it's for years I did not even Google the game because I thought, oh, I probably not gonna like it because it's like Invisible Ink and it's like very abstract and artistic. And then I don't know, 3 years ago, I just go, I was like, oh my god, I'm so stupid, and I just bought it and I enjoyed it. So, but literally for years, I wouldn't even Google it because I was upset that it's like an artistic game and he chose it for Game of the Year. So there you go.
Yeah, totally. For listeners that are not familiar with Clay, they did games like Mark of the Ninja, which is the only game ever that I finished 100% of on Steam.
Nice.
I have every achievement, everything on this game. Don't Starve, one of the best survival games of all time. Invisible Ink, which we talked about. Oxygen Not Included, which is a Dwarf Fortress RimWorld style game, only in side-scrolling perspective. It's technically it's released, but they are still developing it actively. And now Griftlands, which every one of their games has unique style and unique mechanics, and it's polished. They are head-to-head with Supergiant Games about getting really unique, really polished indie games. We are technically done, but the last news item is Riot announced Valorant Mobile, which is the latest in their mobile adaptations. They released League of Legends Wild Rift, 6 months ago, something like that?
Yep. I'm hearing good stuff about it. I played a little bit of it. And we can talk about it in another episode, but yeah, so far I think they're doing really well. I think Wild Rift is doing well in the
Yeah, it seems like Riot really found their stride in the mobile market. It's great. The more like core games come to mobile, the better, I think.
Yeah, so I wonder how that's gonna be. Like right now, like there's a lot of like money put into Valorant. I haven't seen any esports coming out of it yet, but that's like 100% up and coming. So it's gonna be a big scene. I played a little bit of Valorant. I think I want to say like a month or month and a half ago. I suck at it, like I suck at Counter-Strike. But for some people, they're gonna like it. So
yeah, totally. I am not a fan. I don't know if I'll call it a fan, but this is not the type of multiplayer games that appeal to me.
I tried. I just tried. So I had to try it.
I like the style of it. I like the characters and stuff. I watch it on Twitch from time to time. It's a fun game to watch, and it's successful because of that.
I'm just not good at it.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so that is all we have on the show today. Thank you for listening, and thank you, Omer, for hosting with me.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
You can find us online on Twitter. I'm at Icel and Omer is at Omer Kaplan. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, comment, and leave your reviews on your preferred listening app. You can find all of them on theburn.live. And our opening theme was created by Ann Durko with vocals by Fishy Twitch, both on Twitter as well. That's it. Thank you very much, and we will be with you again next time. Goodbye.
Till next time.